Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to February. This is Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Welcome to February of 2024. We are going to see this month look all about you, what you want to create and achieve in your life as you have a stellium of planets in the sign of Aquarius. We're going to break this down in great detail as all of the events of the month unfold. And welcome to my channel if you are new. My name is Lori Lothian. I am using the Western Tropical Zodiac whole sign houses. I love the fixed stars and minor asteroids, and I include a lot of that in my regular content month long. If you haven't tried me out, give me a shot, hit the subscribe and like button, see what you think. And if you're one of my regulars, welcome back. Appreciating all of you. So I am one of you. I'm an Aquarius rising, so I got a vested interest in this narrative. I'm going to tell you that. So every now and then planets pile up in one place, right? It's called a stellium. Some people are born with that stellium. And we're having a massive party in Pluto. I call it the Pluto party in Aquarius. Where at some point during the month of February, more intensely between the 16th and the 19th, you're going to have Venus, Pluto, Mars, Mercury, and the Sun all together in the house of your sign. Now, when you're listening for your sun sign, you're probably listening more for purpose and career matters or father figures. When you're listening for your moon, it can be your home, your safety, your nest. It can also be your body, as well as mother figures. But when you're listening today to your rising sign, which is very intimate to the 2.5 hours in which you were born at a certain latitude and longitude, it's going to be everything in your life. It's like your vantage point through which you are perceiving your reality. So let's get started and talk before we jump to the Pluto party about some of the broad themes of this month ahead. We do have a very loose, not quite happening sextile between Jupiter and Saturn. Now, I say not quite because they don't perfect, but the last week of January, first couple of weeks of February, they're in a soft relationship to each other. And when I see that, I think it's good, but not great. I mean, even with I'm recording for my Patreon community earlier this is a January 6/20 recording. We got the ICJ results that some people are disappointed in because there was no call for a ceasefire, but there was some good stuff coming. So it's like not everything you want can happen. Right? Not everything you want will be available, but it's better than not. It's better than it isn't better. So for money and earnings and home and real estate, these things together are very positive in the first 2 weeks of February. You could have an increase of earnings from home, enough money to buy a possession for your home, some abundance and prosperity through the word home, property, real estate, and taking possession of money. So those are themes that are running through the last week of January and the first couple of weeks of February. Now, when I look at the month of Aquarius, the month of February for us Aquarians, I want to note the way the planet Mercury, Venus, and Mars are moving through the sky in order to create that pile up, right? That pile up in Aquarius. Let's start off with Mercury. And we will do a chronological look at the sky date by date at the end of this video. So Mercury will have moved on February 5th into the sign, right, of Aquarius. And that is after he had been trundling through and even co-joining Mars, who was rising in Capricorn. Mars rising in Capricorn happened last in 1977, and it lasted 2 years in terms of its impact on your life. Please listen to my Mars rising in Capricorn video that just came out on the 25th of January, because it's going to tell you how that will play out for you over 2 years in your 12th house. But now we see Mercury having left behind the story of Capricorn and having moved on February 5th ahead of Mars, right? Ahead of Venus, moved into Aquarius, the house of your sun, moon, or rising, the place of these planets. You are going to be able to be more effective in your communication style between February 5th and the 22nd. You're also really good at marketing and selling and that kind of communication. You have a pizzazz with your speech, and you can come up with really good new ideas February 23rd to March the 9th, especially ideas that have to do with how to handle your taxes, your long-range money, I call your chunky money, and also maybe some ideas about how to deal with your children, or ideas about how to get down with more vitality and joy, or even new ideas for entrepreneurial activities. We're talking about your Gemini 5th house and your 8th house Virgo, which is both the territory belonging to that Mercury in the house of your identity. Now, also, when Mercury moves in here, he is bumping into that Pluto contact, and Mercury energy, Pluto and Aquarius, right? Big news since the 20th of January is about X-ray vision. What are you able to perceive or see or understand or know below the surface of reality? Another feature of you being, deputized by Pluto Mercury energy on the February 5th to the 22nd timeframe. On February 23rd, though, to March 9th, then he moves into a place of detriment for him by signage, which is Pisces. This can be a difficult energy if you're trying, for instance, to organize a financial situation, trying to create new negotiations for a new job or a new salary or pay raise, or if you're trying to sell something or even buy something. I would say be cautious about selling and buying to get a new possession or sell a possession. You may not get the best results at that time, February 23rd to March the 9th. But on the good side, you have Saturn here giving you the ability to communicate in a sober and realistic way, and also maybe to curtail your food style or your bad habits by doing some research or having a new mental outlook on how you may not be doing yourself justice with the things you ingest and drink and smoke or whatever else goes into this space. That's, again, the quality of February 23rd to March the 9th. Then Venus joins the fray in Capricorn, and she'll be arriving in Capricorn in Aquarius, okay? She'll be arriving there on February 16th. Before that, from January 23rd to February 15th, she was in your 12th house. So the 15th, up to the 15th, up to Valentine's Day, good for bed pleasures, romance, in far off places, travel that brings you pleasure and joy to far off destinations. That's really good to go until February 13th. As also maybe being very creative, artistic in the quiet place in your own back room of creativity. And maybe when Venus is in your 12th house, you may also experience a female going through a difficult health challenge, maybe in a hospital. And that would be January 23rd to February 15th. But when she moves on February 16th into your house of you, right, into the house of your identity, then you're going to have beauty, basically. You can get your hair cut, get a new wardrobe, get a new cosmetics lineup going, I'll be getting a facial then. I didn't even mean it to happen then, but it's happening, and a haircut and all of that. So Venus is going to love you up February 16th onward for beautification procedures. And, Venus here can also make you very persuasive, very charismatic, very charming. You may be able to, sell, good old cliches, snow to the Inuits, swampland to someone who lives in Florida. You've got this natural ability to be charming, and you can be very popular and appealing. And I would recommend February 16th to March the 12th is a really good time to get what you want by asking for it, right? To be able to, make the big ask and expect some results. Then we see Mars joining the Pluto party, right? He's coming in just between Mercury and Venus. He arrives on February 13th in Aquarius. Now that means he has been January 3rd to February 13th in your 12th house, where he may help you get rid of addictions, get more down with, some projects that you want to do behind the scenes, travel to foreign places. So being on the go, journeying and traveling. During that window of time, I was in Belize, and that made sense for me, because that's my 12th house of destinations that are far off shores. And be very passionately driven around maybe making more money and having greater revenue through international companies and online borderless income. However, on February 13th, Mars is in that Pluto party and Venus is already there. And then we have Mercury there. And now we have game on, right? Really good energy here of this intense field of action where you see so many planets opening up you. Mars can make you in that first house of you, February 13th to the 23rd, prone to accidents and prone to rashes and prone to fever. So just be careful. But on the other hand, he makes you action-oriented, decisive, good at cutting off people, things, and situations you don't need. You got an extra strong no. You can say no when you need to say no. And you're also maybe passionate and driven, but more active physically. When Mars is in the first house, sometimes we get more into our physical body, more active, maybe doing some kind of competition physically as well, but you become more Martian. Now, don't forget, you are Aquarius, you are Spock in Star Trek, we are. And so Mars is very cool and level-headed here in the house that belongs to Saturn. Because Lord Saturn is busy in your money house, you may also be very passionately engaging in new financial strategies with directionality and ambition, but also separating and cutting away financial strategies for earnings that do not really work for you anymore. And that will be true, as I said, February the 13th to March the 23rd. So let's talk a bit about the breakdown chronologically. As I said, around the 16th and the 19th, there's a real intense Pluto party. You might start to feel it as well on the 13th to the 19th, as Mars has also joined the fray. This window of time, 13th to the 19th or so, is where you have everybody in you. You are all of the planets. You are Venus, you are Mars, you are Pluto, you are the sun. You are embodying and acting as if you have all of this Pluto party as team you. So there's something to say about that, only simply this. Saturn is in your second house. This is his Pluto party, Aquarius house. He's in Pisces looking over at it. It's very possible that what this can indicate is a lot of your focus of attention is on possessions, earnings, and healthier ingestion of foods and food styles. Okay, those may be what you're really going for February 13th to the 19th. Okay, we're moving into the chronology Aquarius of the month ahead. Let me get my notes and let's get rolling. So, and if you're new to my channel, please like, subscribe. And if you're one of my regulars and you haven't yet to subscribe, would you please do so? It does help my channel grow. It really does give me a better chance of making this a full-time career. Now, let's get going, which it is already, but continuing in this direction. So one thing I want to say is that February 7th to the 8th is a Venus beautiful love up energy. I love Venus when she gets going with Uranus, and it's exciting, unexpected, happy surprises that could involve love and money. We have Venus moving, of course, on February 7th and 8th, still back in Capricorn, your 12th house, with surprises to do with home, property, land, and real estate. There's very many ways this can play out. You may get a sudden opportunity to purchase a house abroad. You may have some news from a foreigner connected to property and land, but it's positive and surprising. You may have some kind of financial bonus coming through the word homeland, property, and real estate. You may be able to secure a property sale. You may also be able to get some kind of lucky, unexpected break regarding women from foreign places connected to your home and domestic life. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. Jupiter's in Venus's house, which is Taurus, where he's receiving her attention in an earth trine. So just prosperity, home, money, real estate, property, home life, foreign tourists, foreign lands, foreign places, and backroom deals and negotiations. And boom, you're prospering up a bit here. But it's a happy surprise. On the sort of the 8th and the 9th, just all bundled into that same time, 8th and the 9th, we have Mars sextiling Neptune. Now, Mars, the god of war, the god of ambition and conflict, still in Capricorn, now visible and risen as of January 27th, very powerful energy, is loving up Neptune in your earnings house. And Neptune is great for earnings if you are aligned with your spiritual values, or you have TikTok, Instagram Reels, storytelling, videography, or music types of earnings, those industries, photography as well, if I didn't say that. And you look like you're going to have an earnings glow up if you're using international borderless revenue sources around February 8th and 9th. February the 10th, Mercury, it will be in a square to Taurus. He's already in Aquarius at this point, at a square to Jupiter and Taurus, not Taurus. And that is going to be some kind of contract deal and negotiation that you are putting into place. You are speaking, thinking, or negotiating, or deal making, or selling, or buying something on February 10th, squaring Jupiter in the house of property, home, and real estate. It could be a tense negotiation around rental agreements, property matters, home matters. You are the one with the Mercury power, so you've got this upper hand, but Jupiter is square. So maybe some opportunity regarding home and real estate is requiring a very difficult conversation or some tension in order to negotiate or finalize some kind of deal. And then on February 13th, Venus will sextile Neptune. Venus is a goddess of, good things. And she's flowing to Neptune, as did Mars on February 8th, 9th. So it's kind of a two-part story of one energy. Goddess of money, sextiling Neptune in your money house from the house of foreign lands. Good money developments, earnings developments coming through your sky February 13th, give or take a day on either side. Could also be really good for getting a handle on and space with a Mars February 8th, and then the Venus on February the 13th of food style addictions, bad habits, and patterns where you can cut the habit out for good, for good, for good. Okay, so anybody, when I say addictions, people always think I'm talking about crack. I just mean like too much Haagen-Dazs. It could be an addiction for some people. It doesn't have to be the hardcore stuff. Now, moving to February 13th to the 15th of this year, Mars in Aquarius is going to co-join Pluto. Intense willpower, ambition, and drive. It's like super, super intense energy, and it's in Aquarius. You have intense power, ambition, willpower, and drive. February 13th to the 15th, you are on it. There's a Pluto party happening here. Don't forget, everybody's hanging out with Pluto. So yeah, you really can feel, just Venus is not quite there yet. So you can feel the sense around the 13th to the 15th, of really stepping into some kind of authentic empowerment and sort of some drive and ambition that's really leveling up for you. You are Plutonian right now. You are, owning something to do with authentic power, and Mars is helping you bring it home. Most likely you're making some important decisions the 13th to the 15th. Okay, you're making some important cutting off decisions and following through with actions that are very powerful and very important to you. Mars is, probably also, because he owns your third house, going to indicate changes to do with your online world, your siblings, or trips and travel, decision-making powers going on at that time. February 19th, by the way, is when Chiron and the North Node come together in Aries. It's a big, big deal. It's very rare. You may heal a younger sibling relationship and a neighbor problem. If you've been feeling out of touch with siblings, neighbors, things to do with your online world, things to do with your social media land and writing, things to do with the third house, daily life matters, this is going to be a healing of that part of your sky as the North Node and Chiron co-join in that third house. Okay, so keep that in mind on February 19th at 16 Aries. It lasts not just that day. It's going to set you in a new direction, but it starts around then. Righty, on February 20th to the 23rd, I think this is a hot sizzle of sexy. Venus, Mars conjunct in the house of you. I don't even know where to go with it. I mean, if it's your sun, it's about your career, your moon, it's about your home. If your ascendant, it's about your body and everything else. It's almost like you're fusing your masculine and feminine in a new way. Your drive, ambition, and willpower meeting with your feminine essence, whether you're a man or a woman. Venus unites and brings together, and Mars separates. So you may be also in a tug of war, push-pull about something you want to keep and something you want to end or let go of. That could happen as well. And that's around, again, the window of dates on that conjunction, February 20th to the 23rd. Then on February 26th to the 28th, we have more tension with Jupiter. We saw that Mercury square Jupiter on February 10th, and now on the 26th to the 28th, it's going to be Mars squaring Jupiter. Well, Mars square Jupiter is a very interesting energy. It's kind of gridlocky. Jupiter wants to expand, prosper, grow, and make things really wonderful. And Mars is end, cut, and sever, and they're having a problem. So it can be some kind of action and decisions you're trying to come to terms with on February 26th to the 28th regarding your home life, regarding your property, where you live, real estate. All of those matters are very much on the menu or on the agenda for you. And then on February 28th, Mercury will conjunct Mars. Mercury will conjunct the Sun and Saturn, a triple conjunction. This is a Mercury cazimi in the heart of the Sun. It's divine downloads on February 28th at 9 degrees of Pisces, but Saturn is in the mix. Now, this is your calling, your voice, your vocation, your earnings, your possessions house, your second house. Also things to do with your speech, also things to do with your teeth, also things to do with how what your deeper values in life are. And so all of this energy is really intense because it's a reset button. A cazimi is kind of, give it 6 weeks after the 28th of February, resetting your possessions, earnings, values. And on a practical note, Saturn rules the jaw and teeth. So you might be coming into a new beginning with your dental work. All of this flows to Jupiter, which gives it a blessing. Very positive. I will be doing a Mercury cazimi free webinar. Check the description box below so you can learn how to harness the stars and asteroids involved in this. But it's a great time for a positive reset regarding money and property and home, food styles and what you eat and don't eat, and your home life, things to do with financial abundance and prosperity from in the home and from property, and coming into a new reset button. Saturn gives you a sense of gravitas here. He's the guy who's going to give you good dental work over the next 2 years, but he's the guy that also says conserve, save, and be cautious with your spending and increase your savings as he moves through your second house until 2026 February. And now that he's embroiled in a cazimi, Cazimis give you ideas. You may download a new idea on how to be more effective in your long-term savings and lack of spending strategy. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate, by the way, Aquarius, that you were here today to listen as one of me. And don't forget that bell is like and subscribe. My 2024 All Signs videos are still available to the end of January. If you happen to catch this before the end of January, you can buy them for only $59 and 90 minutes each. Listen for sun, moon, and rising. Share with friends and family. After that, it goes back to the non-sale price of $77. So check that out. And my Patreon community gets all my content, early access, ad-free. And you might want to join my Patreon community and grab a few free gifts as bonus sign-ons that you can also get by checking out my Patreon for $5 a month and up to 3 meetings a month with me, depending on your tier. Thanks, Aquarius. Have a wonderful February.